Hello and welcome to track 3 of Purl Jam. My name is Kristen. You can find me on Instagram as Millie KM Knits, and this is my knitting podcast. Welcome. If you are a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back. I appreciate you. I have no idea what you see in this podcast, but I'm glad that you found something that you like, and I hope that continues. If you are new, thank you for stopping by. I appreciate it. And if this is content that you find that you enjoy, I would love for you to subscribe, hit the like button, do all the things that YouTubey people say to do. And just thank you so much for being here. I really can't tell you how much this has really become one of my favorite things to do. It is Friday, July 31st, last day of July, and it is 9 o'clock at night right now in the Pacific Northwest, so please forgive the lighting. I know that this isn't necessarily ideal, but right now this is what I have. This was the free time I was able to etch out. So if anything is a little discolored, just, understand that it's my lighting. I have a ring light. His name is Steve from Lighting, but for the life of me, I cannot bring myself, I can't wear contacts. It really irritates my eyes, and I cannot get past the rings that show up in my glasses. So maybe at some point I'll find a way to make it work. But for right now, this is what we have. So yeah, I don't have a ton of new stuff to show, but I did want to pop on and show off what I had and talk a little bit about a pattern book that I love, a gift that I received a while back, but I thought I might share it with you because it's incredible and extremely meaningful. And then I brought out an old whip that I'm hoping to be inspired to pick back up. And I also have a hat to show, a finished object from a pattern that I wrote and just kind of want to share. So I will go ahead and start off with what I'm wearing. This is, the pattern is called Brighty. This is the Brighty Cocoon by Bristol Ivy. I knit this in the late summer, early fall of 2020. It is knit with Quince & Co. Kestrel in a charcoal colorway. It's 100% organic linen. While I was knitting it, it was not the most enjoyable yarn to work with. It was definitely a little bit scratchy, stiff, crunchy. I have eczema on, my hands, and it didn't really like it. My hands didn't really like it. But as it has, I know I'm selling this really well, aren't I? As it has been washed and worn and, repeat, it has gotten so incredibly soft and it's worn so incredibly well. This does get a lot of wear, especially in the summer. Evenings in the Pacific Northwest never really stay super hot. I know all of my southern friends are laughing at me for saying super hot about the Pacific Northwest, but every now and then it gets hot here too. And in a state where air conditioning isn't really the norm, it's brutal for those 2 weeks where we get triple digits. But anyway, in the evenings, it tends to cool down pretty well, regardless of how hot it is in the summer. So this is nice just to kind of put over, a tank top or a short sleeve shirt, just to kind of have just a little extra layer. I love this over a dress as well. It is knit in 2 pieces and it is seamed under the arm. As you can see, I seamed mine inside out. Because it's under my arm, I don't really care. I can't feel it, I can't see it, and so it doesn't really bother me. And I didn't think that it was worth undoing it just to seam it the right way for something nobody really sees. So this is one of my favorite garments that I've knit, just because it was so quick, it was so easy, and it's really versatile. So if you haven't knit it, I would absolutely give it a try. It is an enjoyable knit, and you get a lot of use out of it. So finished objects, I will start with one that I posted on Instagram. It's a half finished object, and it is my son's sock. So, ta-da! I think the last time I podcast, I was maybe 6 rounds from being done with it, and I'm pretty sure I just finished it the same day that I recorded the podcast. So yeah, recording gave me the push I needed to just knock it out. So I did finish it. It fits him really well. He absolutely loves it, and he is ready for me to be done with its mate, which probably won't happen for just a little bit. I will show that off though when I'm talking about whips. But this was knit with Cozy Toes by Yarn Bee in the color Soft Dusk. It's really pretty. It's nice and soft and squishy. It's got great stretch to it, so can't beat it. It's really nice yarn. I love it. And an old finished object I have is this hat. This is knit in, oh, the color is escaping me. Nope, it's not going to come back. Sorry, guys. Brain fog. Sleep deprivation and brain fog is real. But anyway, this is a pattern that I wrote. This is called Pathways. And it is knit out of a Hazel Knits yarn. Hazel Knits is a local yarn shop that's in an online store that's, it's close to me. Wendy and Dave are absolutely fantastic. They're lovely people. They dye amazing yarn. The bases are really great. So if you haven't checked out Hazel Knits, by all means, please do. They've got great tonals and in just about any color you can imagine. So give them a check, give them a look. Sorry. Words are hard at 9 o'clock at night, apparently. But anyway, so this is a cable and slip stitch hat. So I've got a couple of cables that are close together, one that is a little more elongated, and then it comes up, and the decreases actually make this really pretty kind of star or flower kind of looking motif on the top. Obviously can't show you. I put a palm on this one. It is 6 inches of 1x1 ribbing. So I know that's probably quite the turn off for a lot of people. Very easy to modify. Just, knit less if you don't want to do a folded brim. But here it gets decently cold, and it stays cold for a while. So for me, the folded brim is not necessarily a necessity, but a big plus. So I absolutely love it. It's a slouchy beanie. And yeah, I don't have the pattern published anywhere. If you're interested in it though, I don't have the time or the knowledge to set up a website just yet. So if you're interested in it, I would be super happy to just send you the pattern for free. If you like it, give it a go. That would be great. And maybe if that becomes a thing, maybe I'll start doing patterns too, and one day learning how to make a website and sell them. I don't know. But if you're interested in the pattern, leave me a comment below and I would be more than happy to send it to you. And if you like it, or even if you don't like it, I don't care. I'm a big girl. I can handle the truth. Let me know what you think. If you don't like 6 inches of 1x1 ribbing, I totally get it. Not a lot of people do. Just shorten it. So, and I think in the pattern, I also give an option for, the number of stitches you would need to make it wider or thinner is only the word that shorter. A smaller circumference is what I'm looking for. Make the circumference smaller and maintain the pattern. So yeah, anyway, leave a comment below if you would like to try out Pathways, and I will send it to you free of charge. And please just do me a favor and tell me what you think about it. And if this is something that takes off, who knows, might start writing more patterns. Would love to make that my job. So those are all the finished objects that I have. Not much, but that's okay. Now I'm going to move on to whips, and the first whip I'm going to talk about is an older whip. I started this. This is the Hey Sailor by Andrea Mowry. I started this with a Knitty McPurley knit along, and I gave up. Not really. So I believe this knit along was going on as I was heavily pregnant with my second. And I just couldn't be bothered after a while. After I got to a point where I knew I wasn't going to finish it in the time allotted, I just kind of started going at my own pace and then getting less and less interested. And then I had my kid and I was like, well, knitting's going to stop for a little bit. Who has the time? But it is an amazing pattern. This is the first time I've ever done any kind of color work. And I believe it's mosaic. Yeah, it's mosaic. So it's for a newbie at color work. It's really easy. Mosaic is actually really easy. So if you haven't tried color work, if you're intimidated by it like I am, start with mosaic. I have found that it is really easy, and there are a lot of really friendly patterns out there. They're very geometric in nature, so you don't have as much variety as you would with, say, like stranded color work, but that's a really good place to start, at least in my opinion, what I've found. So this is the progress I made with my Hey Sailor. I know that the pattern calls for more of a summer yarn. I think it's maybe like a cotton wool blend, but I decided I was going to do mine in wool. I really just enjoy wearing wool more than I enjoy wearing cotton, and it doesn't bother me. So the yarns that I used is, let's see, the cream color is a Chicken Lady Fiber Arts yarn. It is I Smell Snow, and it's on her sparkle base. It is incredible, and I don't think I'm going to be able to pick up the sparkle. I'm just going to get real close to you guys. I don't know if the sparkle is picking up. I surely hope that it is. But there's a pretty decent amount of stellina in this, so it's I'm going to be fabulous. And the coral color yarn, I have to admit, it's a deep stash yarn, which I feel like I've said that on every podcast, and I always leave you with I don't know what this is, but realistically, as you can see, I buy yarn because it's beautiful. It tells me what it wants to be at some point in time. And when I start using it and then setting it down, odds are I don't have the tag anymore. So I can really just tell you what weight it is and what color it is. So my apologies if you're looking for greater detail. That's not something you're probably going to find out of this podcast. But that's okay because we have pretty things to look at. So I have a couple of projects that I'm working on ahead of this, but I really would like to pick this back up. It's not the most enjoyable knit that I've ever done. I'm finding that while easy, the pattern is a little tedious, and that's no fault of that's just the nature of the pattern, right? Like it's not poorly knitten. Wow. Sorry, it's after 9 o'clock. Can you tell? It's not poorly written. It's just, I hate to say that it's kind of a slog because I don't want to insult the pattern or the designer, but that's my knitting experience with it. And maybe that's just because of the stage of life I'm in right now, where I don't really have a lot of time to sit and relax with my knitting. While I find knitting very relaxing, it's usually not something I can do for hours on end and just really chill out with. So, yeah, I'm having a hard time with it. I don't feel super inspired by it. I am going to keep going though, because the finished project is glorious. It's beautiful, and I can't wait to wear it. So that is going to keep me going and help me to get it across the finish line. But that is my Hey Sailor. Again, that's by Andrea Mowry, and I had started that as part of a Knitty McPurley knit along, and giving birth got in the way of finishing it. So, as it tends to. You excuse me, I need to take a drink really quickly. Obviously, this is my 3rd episode in, so I'm not sponsored by anybody at all, but if you have ever tried these Wild Wonder drinks, this one is Strawberry Passion. These are like a probiotic and prebiotic sparkling drink. They're good. They're sweetened with agave nectar, so like they're properly sweet, but not like make your teeth hurt sweet. Anyway, shameless plug. They're incredible. I love them. Next thing I would love to show off. This is a gift that I received from a very dear friend, and she crocheted this for me after my sweet baby girl Mau Mau died. I talked about Mau Mau on my first episode and how Lynn from Chicken Lady Fiber Arts dyed up beautiful, beautiful yarn to commemorate my sweet girl. And Mau Mau would always sit right next to me in my chair in the craft room and just hang out with me while I knit. We would watch podcasts together, and she just sat there and chilled out while I knit. So I miss her presence right next to me as I'm plugging away on projects. So my friend Heather, I just love this so much. My friend Heather bought the Mau Mau yarn from Chicken Lady, and she crocheted me a Mau Mau, and she even got the eyes. Mau Mau had the most beautiful green eyes. She even got the eyes. So, and it's weighted. My Mau Mau girl she was a hefty lady. She was a pudgy princess. So it's weighted, and it is roughly the weight of Mau Mau. So, you know, when I really miss her, I put my little Mau Mau, my little crocheted Mau Mau next to me, and I will legitimately pet this while I'm knitting or crocheting and watching podcasts, and it is like she is back with me. So I don't know the pattern that she used. I want to say that she just kind of did this, kind of just made it up as she went along. But it is so sweet, and it's such a wonderful use of the Mau Mau yarn. I just can't get enough of it. I absolutely adore it, and it's just such a great gift. I love it. So if you know somebody who has lost a furry friend, and you are, you know, somebody who knits, like gift knits or gift crochets, consider doing something like this, because this warms my heart. This is great, and I guarantee you it would warm the heart of anyone who has lost a fur baby. So this is my crochet Mau Mau girl. Yeah, she might be my project or my podcast mascot. That might happen. So be on the lookout. She might appear in more episodes. All right, what else am I working on? Oh, yes. So I am participating in Shark Week, PIK Shark Week Challenge. And I decided that I was going to knit a newborn vertebrae, but I was going to size it up for 18 to 20 months. 24 months, sorry, 18 to 24 months. I'm going to make it my youngest son's Christmas present. So hopefully he doesn't outgrow it by then. He is a big boy. So, and big isn't growing. I'm not disparaging my son. But he's growing very quickly. Which is quite the departure from my first. My eldest son was born 10 weeks early. So he stayed very small for a very long time. And we're having the exact opposite experience with our second, who is growing, to me, at the speed of sound. I mean, I know that kids grow up fast. I know that it doesn't last long, and, you know, they just change every day. But it really, especially in comparison to our experience with our first, this seems like the fast forward button has just been permanently mashed. So anyway, It's not going to look like much at the moment. I probably should have picked a better time to show this off, but we're going to forgive because that's what we do. So this is the newborn vertebrae. I have picked up, see, it's just this big squish at this moment. I have picked up all the stitches to go from the bottom hem all the way around for the collar and then back to the bottom hem again. Originally, I was going to knit this in just this absolutely luscious green yarn. This is, I'll show it off here, Farmer's Daughter Fibers. This is her Superwash Merino. It is the color Pine Drop. And oh, this green. Oh, this green. I never used to be a green person, but I don't know. I think I'm following that trend of like, I used to love millennial gray and now I'm like into the dark greens. God. Never thought of myself as a follower, but here I am. Anyway, I was going to do it in just the green, but then I kind of got the idea that, oh, this would look so fun with a stripe or a few. And I initially wanted to do it in a nice cream or ivory color, but I didn't have the correct weight on hand. Oh, this is a worsted weight yarn. So I had a bunch of bulky weight ivory. I have a bunch of fingering weight ivory. I have no worsted. So I found this beautiful golden color, and so I decided I would use that instead. And the gold color, it is a hedgehog fibers color, and it is called Pollen. Maybe not the most appealing name considering how much people hate pollen, but I think the color is spot on that lovely yellow paint job that all of our vehicles get when it's pollen season. So this is my Shark Week project. I am terrified at this point that I'm not going to finish it. I still have the sleeves to go, but my plan is to stay up really late tonight, even though it's already 9:30. It's not really late for me. I'm not that old, but my kids don't sleep in yet. But my plan is to stay up really late tonight and at the very least finish the stitches I've picked up, finish the ribbing here, and maybe start on a sleeve. My weekend is extraordinarily busy. It's summer, so lots of kids' birthdays. It's kids' birthday season. So I am going to try and fit in knitting wherever I can to get this wrapped up. I initially thought that I wouldn't mind if I got bit by the shark because I've ripped this out and started over like 3 times at this point. But now I've gotten to the point where I've gotten so far along, I'm pretty sure I would be devastated if I had to rip out. But I will follow the rules to hopefully be entered in for a prize. So, gonna try so hard to finish this up. It is going to be a Christmas present for my youngest, and I know that I'll have enough left over to make a matching hat for him. So I will likely do that as well, not on a time crunch. Let me see, I'm looking around. I'm sitting on the floor of my craft room, so just kind of making sure that, nothing's hiding under the table. I don't have any more whips to show off. The shawl that I have been working on, I've gotten about an extra inch completed on that, but it doesn't look like much, so I didn't feel like it was worthwhile to show it. So I will I'm going to talk about a pattern book that I love. I bought this at one of my local yarn shops, I believe, a couple of years ago at this point. It's called The Nifty Knitter. It's in Issaquah, Washington. They have a great selection of books. It is called Knit a Little. And if you have a little one in your life, I couldn't possibly recommend this book enough. It is a fantastic book. It's got 24 seamless patterns for sweaters, kids size sweaters and hats. And most of the sweaters stop at like the youth sizes. So you're not gonna get into teenage sizes, but like it stops at like a youth I don't know, a youth medium, youth large. But it's pretty much made just for the kiddos. So I have knit both of my kids' sweaters out of this book. My favorite one, I probably should have I should have had this earmarked, but my favorite, I'm going to do this without showing off the pattern. I knit this for my oldest when he was, I want to say 2. This is called, excuse me, this is called the Bitty Beekeeper sweater, and he wants another one so badly. But it was a super fun knit. It was really easy, and it's a really great sweater to show off a beautiful tonal yarn. So I plugged Hazel Knits before. One of their tonals in that pattern, chef's kiss. So yeah, if you have littles in your life, if you enjoy knitting for kids or babies, this is a really good resource. It's a really great pattern book. That they've got sweaters, you know, just kind of cables. They've got plain sweaters. They've got color work, whatever you can kind of think of, it's in here. And they're really like nice, like heirloom pieces that you can hang on to for a while, assuming, you know, kids don't kid, which that's a big assumption. But so that's a book that I have gotten a ton of use out of. I think it was $25. I'm sure you can find it in a secondhand shop. It's been out for a while. I don't know that I don't know whether or not a lot of yarn stores carry it. It's a little older at this point, but it's a great resource for me. And I am in a place where a lot of my friends at church are having babies, so it's been great to just kind of pick out a pattern and go with it. And then speaking of sweaters, I don't have any acquisitions to show, but I do have some yarn that I would like to turn into sweaters as Christmas gifts for my kids. So I will start with this wool folk yarn in this absolutely beautiful dusty like denim color. So this is Woolfolk Tove, unsure on the pronunciation, Tov. It is luscious. It is squishalicious. It's amazing. So the base is, so this is, let's see. They don't name their colors. It's just numbers, which is not my favorite. I wish they would give them like good, like cool names. Oh wait, no, they do have names. Sorry. This is denim blue. So denim blue. It is an Aran weight yarn. So it'll be a really good cold weather sweater. And I plan on picking a pattern from my Knit a Little book for a sweater for my youngest. And I think he is going to have blue eyes. So baby's eyes are blue when they're born. And I think by the time they hit 18 months is when the color like kind of stays permanent. It'll either change or it'll stay blue. My oldest has blue eyes, and anything blue just makes his eyes pop. And I think Mason, my youngest, is going to be the same way. So even if not, this will be cute on him. I think he'll love it. Not that he's going to know. He's a baby. He'll love it because, I don't know. Anyway, next up is this gorgeous Malabrigo yarn. This is Comparsita. This is Malabrigo Rios. And the lighting is not doing this yarn justice. It's making it look much more faded than it is. I wouldn't necessarily say that this is a particularly vibrant tonal red, but it is more vibrant than the camera is showing. But Malabrigo Rios is a pretty common yarn that you can find in most yarn stores. So I would imagine that if your local yarn store carries Malabrigo Rios, you've seen Comparsita. So yes, it's a great yarn. I absolutely love it. I'm going to knit a sweater for my oldest in this. I've got 3 skeins, so I know I'll have enough to make him something nice. I'm hoping I don't catch too much flack for it not matching, but I won't. He is, even though he's only 6, he's a very knit-worthy kid. He loves his knits from his mom, and he very often talks about his knits. He shows them off to his friends all the time, and you know, he loves his mommy's knits. So that makes me feel really good. He's a good kid. He's very knit-worthy. But yeah, so that's all I have in terms of knitting or yarn or things to show off. So I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap up with some podcasts that I've been watching that I love. The first one I want to recommend is the Fruitful Hands. It is a mother-daughter duo knitting podcast. It is incredible. These ladies are based in Kentucky, and it makes my heart so happy. I lived in Kentucky for a long time. I consider Kentucky home. And it just, when I sit and listen to these gals just go on about knitting, I feel like I'm back home, back in Kentucky. So if you have a chance, definitely check them out. It's called Fruitful Hands. Their intro song, it's amazing. I'm fairly certain that one of them or one of their family members probably composed it. They have a big, amazing family. I absolutely love hearing their family stories. So yeah, check them out. They knit a lot of incredible things. So a Fruitful Hand, or I'm sorry, Fruitful Hands. And then another podcast that I absolutely love is Mystery Mouse. Holly does an amazing podcast where she is a yarn dyer as well. Her yarn is absolutely stunning. I know I have some, so maybe next podcast I'll bring out some of my Mystery Mouse knits yarn. So she does a great podcast, and she does the most amazing color work. She's a huge fan of Beauty and the Beast. So she has this incredibly beautiful purple sweater with color work yoke, and the color work, it's on the yoke, it's all characters from Beauty and the Beast. It's got Lumiere, it's got Mrs. Potts and Chip. It's even got Cogsworth, which doing that in color work on a small scale for yoke, that's impressive. And then it's got fleur-de-lis on it as well. It's incredible. Like, she's a very gifted knitter, and she has a great podcast. And she also is an avid reader and gives great book recommendations. So if you are also an avid reader, I would definitely hit up her podcast and give it a look, give it a watch. It's really good. Sometimes she has her kids on. Her dog Watson is absolutely fantastic. So I love it when they make appearances. So 2 fun watches. I hope you give them a chance. And with that, friends, I am going to wrap up. So thank you again for coming back, sitting down with me, chatting about knitting. I hope to be back in the next 2 to 3 weeks. And until then, I hope y'all have so much fun with your knitting. Bye.